if we're going to talk the truth between us, because this show's about us. It's never been about nobody else. It's always been direct to server. Like, send the server. It's been, you know, me to you. Like, you know how you watch tennis on the side? It's never been about nobody else. We've never cared about nobody else. We've never cared about nobody's opinion. We've never cared about nobody but us. And that's what we've been doing. Right? So now, fire signs, if you can stomach or tolerate some real talk. And I want to let y'all help me out. Then I'm going to bring my next guest on, who I'm sure is beyond professional, and he's waiting for me right now. But fire signs. And I'm not taking no talk back. See my Luther shirt? Yeah, get it fucked up. Hey, listen, man. Ain't got nothing to do with Zion. Now, unfortunately, I don't know what is the timing. I don't know why. But just a few hours of celebrating the George Floyd verdict, a young lady is killed by a police officer. Few hours. Just in case you thought, New Day in America, police held accountable, they kill people, they're going to jail, they gotta be scared of killing people. Wrong. Few hours later, they kill a young lady. Now, this is the realest show in the game. If this is the realest show in the game, let me see some fire signs. Right? Now, this is why I say you and me. Because what I'm about to say, you may disagree with. And a lot of times in our culture, in our community, if it sounds damaging to one of us, we just stay quiet. We just Jesse Smollett, that was funny business, bro. But we stood like, Jesse Smollett was funny business. And we stood like, and shit be happening when you know, if you can let the shit go, you be like, yo, they tripping. Right? But you like, the kids out here in spring break, jumping up and down on cop cars and all that. You know. But you don't want to diss up. We're not doing that. Right? We don't do that. But today, I want to speak my mind on this. Right? And I am nothing. I just have an opinion, and it is what it is. Right? The young lady that was killed by the cop. Different details. They said she was getting jumped by grown women. She was just a little girl. If we trust the video of George Floyd, chevron's, his knee on his neck, or the other young brother where the girl says, taser, and kills him, which she's guilty too. The video I saw of this young lady who got killed had a knife about this long in her hand, and she was about to stab another sister. God forgive me. But the video I saw was another girl in pink like this, about to, with a knife this big. Suppose they don't shoot. And she stabs the girl in the neck, the heart. The girl is dead. And sometimes, whether it's just us we gotta really make sense, right? Sometimes we gotta, and so now we can backtrack. There's millions of kids in the foster system that the foster system has failed. There's millions of kids. But what I'm saying is, suppose the cop didn't shoot and the girl would have killed the girl in front of them. That's as far as I go. I'm just sparking a light bulb. Take it how you want. I don't lie, right? So, you know, most of the time I just stay quiet on some shit. But this time I'm looking and I'm like, there's a girl like this and a girl swinging the knife about this long. In the motion. I don't know. Maybe it was too fast. I don't know if he could have got the taser and shot her with the taser. I don't know what they could have did. They looked too far away to stop the girl or dive on her or prevent it in some way. I don't know if the taser would have hit the girl. And then once it get through, get through. That's the best case scenario. We could say, why not use the taser? You're right. That's all I'm saying, bro. But ironically, it's fucking crazy that you're celebrating the guilty verdict and less than a couple of hours, a young black sister gets killed in the street. Let me get my guest on, man. He's dead. Yes, the people, man. The people. Yo, Keenan, what's up, my brother?
What's good with you?
Yo, you know you put the camera on you a little dark. You dim the lights and you don't look so light-skinned right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, Keenan, I seen you the other day, Madison Square Garden. I walked right past you. I didn't know it was you. All of a sudden, you look light-skinned.
I mean, you know, I have my glasses on. Good. You know what I'm saying? I was feeling good. Like, doing me. But yeah, man, I thank you for having me, bro. It's good. It's good to talk to you, man. It's like it's real heavy times right now. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's weird? What's weird, Keenan, right, is in the past, guys who have shared a position that you shared, because let's be clear, you have a lot of white fans. Saturday Night Live is and there's nothing wrong. We love white people. Some of my best friends are white people. I love white people. I tell people all the time, this ain't no fucking hating. White. I love my best friends are white. Okay, this ain't about this. This is about human. But if somebody in your position usually stays quiet or tries to go under the radar, and when I follow you on Instagram, I see you vocally about it and talking about Black Lives Matter. And is that hard for you to do, or for you it's like, hey, I'm gonna speak my mind?
No, it's not hard for me to do because I'm living life. You know what I'm saying? It's what I'm going through my life. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be out here pretending that I'm not affected by these things that are going on. People that look like myself if I happen to get pulled. You know what I mean? So I haven't put out Makia yet because I'm still waiting, I guess, to get all the info. But it's just really the main reason, you know what I'm saying, it's very sad that the reaction to us always fake. You know what I'm saying?
You popping in and out. Yo, Kenan, you popping in and out. Your voice.
Yeah. So, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, my brother.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Like a lot of people are saying, why not the taser? Why not the leg shot? Whatever, like that. I think the same way. It's fortunate that the reaction to us when police show up or whatever is always so lethal. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me very sad.
There's a video.
Together, you know what I mean? But I'll be posting about it.
There's a video that our brother Sean King put up today about a white man who dragged police officers in the middle of the street and had a knife on him. They never killed this guy. They never shot at him. They never
Yeah,
tasered him.
plenty of videos like that. You know what I mean? There's videos of the old man dragging police on the truck, trying to get away, and they not shooting windows, this, that, and the other.
So what do they say, Keenan? They say, he's white, I'm not going to shoot.
I mean, I don't know what they say, but it appears to be the overall concept is that they see them as a threat. They see them as the same kind of threat look at us as. And that has got to change.
So basically, they can look at a white guy with a knife lunging at him and back up and be like, oh, he's just off his meds today. He's, we're going to figure this out. And then when it's a black brother, they just shoot him dead.
I mean, unfortunately, that has been the outcome more times than not. So, yeah, the bottom line, they don't see him as a threat. The other side of that coin is that, they're on some old, protect the race type shit, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't really know the mind of a race cop. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know is that we can't keep, like, having days and continue these days like, yeah, man, I mean, she was in an incident whatever where there was violence involved, but the violence have to be lethal. A so-called train, and she supposedly called to the scene. So,
I know, but she had the knife.
I know.
About to kill this girl, or at least hurt her bad. Like,
yeah, I mean, but if you're a professional, supposedly to intervene on shit like that, can't you do that without an elite force from?
You know what? I have a gun license in Miami, and they teach you if somebody is 5 steps away from you and comes at you trying to kill you with a knife, even if you shoot them, they can still make it to you and kill you with the knife.
Okay.
And so, unfortunately, this situation was a little bit more trickier to me because look, you seen the girl was like, what if she would have killed the girl in front of the cops and they didn't do nothing, freezing up? This is a very touch and go situation.
Like a paintball will change your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like you catch a paintball, that's bro. You know what I'm saying? That's switch up the immediate intent moment, and then you can get your time to get up in there. Let alone they got rubber bullets that be popping people's eyes out. And so I know those things can be effective in, disarming a situation and without necessarily 4 times to the chest. And then there's different versions of, first shot and then several, after a pause.
I think they, in a perfect world, I wish they would have tased her or something. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not a police person and I'm not against the police, blah, blah, blah. Be a mass overhaul of the team and all of the where these funds particularly are going to for these people to keep showing up on the scene and killing black women and children and men. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit is not that's just not cool. Whether she was having
it's beyond systemic. Even in New York, I don't care if it's Eric Gardner, whoever it is, when you see the police union out there, they don't care if they're guilty on camera or nothing. They're like, no, we are with the police officers. We don't care. We, special training, this, and so we cannot get nowhere if people are, are being like straight. Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. It is what it is. And so the thing that messes us up is that we really do pay their salaries. they are really there to protect and serve.
Yeah, I mean, it's a training thing, man. You know, there's lots of like documentaries about, you know, the training of, you know, these people that are out here supposedly serving and protecting. And a lot of that training involves using weapons as opposed to using, you know, verbalage to de-escalate situations, things like that. So what do you use mostly in a situation? You're going to use what you've been trained most to do, you know what I'm saying, which is to use
Yeah.
weapons. So I don't know,
Let me
man. Like,
let me ask you something. You do so much.
they don't have a good record of respect in life, you know what I'm saying, especially black. So that shit got to change. Like, bottom line, period.
You know, I know you do tons of impersonations on Saturday Night Live. Do
And
you know who I am tonight?
who you being tonight?
I'm Luther Vandross.
Is that right?
You know, it was Luther's birthday yesterday, so I went and got the jacket made like Luther, and I came on never too much, that you wouldn't look at me and notice I was Luther?
No, you all had a curl wig, man. Curl wig, man.
If I'd have came with the curls, then they'd be like, oh shit, Joe on some Luther shit.
Yeah, now that would have gave it away. I don't know if I would have guessed Luther right.
Yo, well, how about you, man? You played so many characters. What are some of your favorite characters that you've impersonated?
I mean, my favorite person in the world that I've never impersonated on the show I think is Tracy Morgan. You know what I'm saying? Like Tracy was at
Nah, stop. Yo,
the,
why don't you do one?
when I came in, somebody else was doing them, and then somebody else started doing them, so I never really had the chance to do it. And then, you know, it's my brother, so, you know, I just like enjoy watching other people's impressions of him or whatever. So I just let
Tracy
them.
called me up. Tracy called me up the other day and was like, yo, you got your beach share? And I was like, for what? He was like, we're gonna go on the 9-5. We need an Amazon truck to hit us now. His wife told him he better get hit by another truck. That money, that Walmart money running out.
Yeah, they spending high. Build that interstate. Yeah, I love Tracy, man. He's the best. That's
And
my
every
brother.
year, how many years you worked with Tracy?
I didn't. I came in after he left the show. So I met him on my first day job, but he wasn't working there anymore. He was just still there, you know, and telling
Hanging
stories.
out. Tracy, the
Always
type of guy you get rid of, he won't leave, right? You fire him, he don't get the
exactly
message. He that
kicking it.
brother man. He that
Yeah.
you can't get rid of Tracy Morgan, huh?
Yeah, that's my brother, man. He took me to Fridays that day. You know what I'm saying? He's like, let's go to Fridays. We went.
And yo, Tracy crazy. Like I said, you know, let me tell you something. One of the greatest experience. I know Tracy from the Bronx many, many years. Before he was big and every time I go to a Knick game, Tracy somehow is there. And he just talk, and I love it, right?
Yeah.
I'm having fun. The other day he's sitting next to the quarterback of the Giants, and man, Tracy was talking a hole in this man's head, and I'm sitting on the side. I said, "Damn!" At some point, I had to say, "Yo, maybe homeboy ain't with the Tracy, like, but you know, Tracy won't stop. Like he just, he's like, yo, this, that, and he's calling me. He's reaching out, yo, you don't see the park. I'm trying to tell him about yo, this guy don't know nothing about what the hell Tracy talking about. And he keep going.
I'm talking about Cedar Park in '93.
Yeah, I'm talking Cedar Park in the Bronx, man. When he started hip hop, this guy from North Carolina, Duke boy, he ain't trying to hear all that shit.
Yeah, for 2.5 hours. Yeah, Tracy, man, that dude is a freight train. I love him. Many a night he's been in my ear just like that, like in the middle of the club. You know what I'm saying?
What about like comedians, right? It's become, you know, something I saw that was so refreshing to me was Dave Chappelle on the Netflix. And it was so much of like a regular comedian great, but to us it was so great because it was unapologetic. But when you go back to the Red Foxes, the Richard Pryors, it's always been unapologetic. But when all this cancel system and all this shit, it's hard to get a good comedian to come out there and talk shit. And so I loved it because he just didn't care. Comedians are supposed to be able to make fun of anything.
Yeah, in a smart way. You know, it's definitely the hardest times because, you know, it's dire for the people that are the butt of certain jokes. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like back in the day we just been snapping on anybody and say whatever. It's no big deal. Everybody home. You know what I'm saying? There's a misunderstanding people and, you know, life that ends up losing their life. You know what I'm saying? So when you tell a joke about it, it lessens the importance of, you know, the knowledge of these people, but the human beings. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they deserve to live how they want to live without, you know, of losing their life because they run into something.
You know, just yesterday, it's crazy. Just yesterday, shout out to JP's in City Island. I was up in the Bronx. It was really, really crowded because in New York, when it hit 65, they act like it's chancleta weather. Bring the sandals out, tank tops. You know, New York, 65, they acting like it's 90 degrees, right? So it was rampant crowded. My favorite spot is City Island. So he tucked me in the corner, you know, but if you go use the bathroom, you can see me if you really look. And my man John, and some girl walked by, was like, oh, no, oh, God, it's Fat Joe, right? And I'm like, hey, how you doing? So she immediately tries to rush me with the phone. Not only was I eating, but it's COVID. Like, it's, you know, you got to wear your mask. You know, I wasn't masked up. I wasn't. So I'm like, yo, miss, hold up 1 second. So I start to tell her, I love you. I appreciate you. It's just I'm eating and it's COVID.
Right.
And the girl told me, well, you're a celebrity. You got to take this picture. Yeah. You, like, what do you mean? Like, you have to. You have to. And so, what is your take about that? Just like you said, you know, you might tell a joke about somebody and take it the wrong way.
I was just about to ask you, what did you do?
Oh, no. I felt bad, but I had to keep it 100 and be like, yo, mama, I can't do it. And so she got, you know, I'm from the projects in the Bronx. So she got stank. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we know stank. Yeah. You know, I grew up with 30 stank chicks in front of the building my whole life. That's where I got my comedy from. The front of my projects every summer. So I knew when she came, I said, damn, man. She, you know, she walked off talking to, Dave East gave me a picture before. Jada Kiss gave me a picture. You know, see, you know, they get into that. You know what I'm saying? And you win some, you lose some, you know? And what do you do at that point?
I definitely used to react the same way, and then I was just like, I don't know, it's not even worth my energy a lot of the time, so I would just grab my mask, moving to avoid dealing with shit like that, because it would always escalate beyond what it needed to be, and then I would always be thinking, like, man, like, you know, now they probably think I'm an asshole, whatever, and I just didn't need to, like.
Yeah, it feels bad. It feels bad. I'll tell you a quick one right now, right? I remember all the way up. It's #1. I'm trying to get my money up, my bags up. I went. Don't try this one at home, okay? I performed at Club Story here like 4 in the morning. Came home, took a quick shower, went to the airport at 6. The flight went up to Connecticut. I had like a brunch show. It was like a pool party brunch show. Like 12, 1, 2 o'clock, I do the show. We rushed to the airport because I have a concert in Denver. Like a summer jam in Denver. Like I really did this in one day. So when I get to the airport in Connecticut, this Puerto Rican girl walk up. And I'm already like, dead. Like I'm sitting on the chair like, hoping we get on this plane so I can sleep for 2-3 hours. And she stops and she's like, Fat Joe, I see you. I'm like, yo, what's up, mommy? You're not gonna throw me a picture? You're not gonna throw me a picture? So I'm like, mommy, I'm so tired. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I haven't slept 1 hour. I already did 2 shows. I'm on my way to a third one of them. But you're not gonna throw me a picture? So boom, I get up. But she could tell I wasn't enjoying this.
Right.
I got up, fat boy style, took the picture with her, went to Denver, did the show that night. I throw on my Twitter, Fat Joe Twitter. Fat Joe ain't shit. He thinks he's better than everybody. He didn't want to take a picture with me. You know, fuck him. I've been supporting him. I'm like, first of all, I didn't want to take the picture, but I actually got up, dead tired, and took the picture with you. And you still shitting on me on Twitter.
What are you gonna do? I mean, you can't win for losing a lot of the time. But you know, for a lot of people, that's like when they're gonna see you again like that. You know what I'm saying? When they're gonna be that close. You know what I mean? So it's special
and
for
I
them.
try to put that into perspective to where people be like, damn, I ain't never gonna see him again.
Yo, my man, I see you at the next game. I don't get to be that close to you like that in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we're familiar with each other and shit, but like, you Fat Joe, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's a lesson, man, and like, get very excited. So it's all love.
Yeah, I say I'm a Snoop Dogg in New York. You know what I'm saying? The
Percent.
Snoop Dogg in New York. You know, you got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
I'm a dad. What's that like? How that changed your life? Your girl, your girl dad.
Yeah, it's the most immediate switch I've ever experienced. You know what I mean? Like, even getting married, it felt like it was more a party for everybody because nothing really changed between me and my wife. We already felt how we felt and was living how we were living. And my kids, when they came, it was the first time it wasn't necessarily all about like self, you know, or my wife. You know what I'm saying? It was like a step further. All right, put, you know, other people even before me, my wife. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody else in the world. It was just a major perspective shift. Most beautiful thing in the world because my babies are the sweet. I love them to death. Man.
You know, I was out of town for a week. I came home today. I got caught in the crossfire. Wifey and my daughter. And they both like, you know, her point of view, her point of view, her point of view, her point of view, her point of view. I'm sitting there watching the tennis match like, you know, what do you want me to do? And the 1 second I side with my daughter, oh, it's over. I might not be able to sleep in the room. So I'm sitting in there like, oh my God, like what, like what's going on here? Like, you know, and they go, you know, in a positive way, they go at it. But, you know, my daughter, she changed my life. You know, she changed my life, and I actually live life for her.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different thing. And I just want, while I'm on earth, my daughter to say, there's nothing my father wouldn't do for me. He'll do anything for me, and then some.
And then some, 1,000%. So imagine, you know, imagine all these parents that's lost to these, you know, fucked up situations. You know what I mean? Just keep that in perspective when you vote. Everybody register to vote, you know what I mean? And protect your necks. And I don't know, it's just, you know, it's a very like volatile time in our country because a lot of snakes loose. You know what I mean? They can't hide anymore. So now
That's crazy because my dentist, I went to the dentist yesterday, and my dentist, she was talking about somebody's kid that passed away. And she was like, look, we're supposed to outlive our kids. It really does have to be the saddest shit in the world when your kid passes away, man. It's beyond, you know, And you know, I got this thing back here in my tooth where they put in a little implant in the back.
You
But
got
for
the
some
George
reason, I
Washington.
keep biting my cheek. I don't know if my cheek got fatter, but yo, bro, like
You
they
know it's
won't
there.
shave the shit to the. This is really fucking with my quality of life, Keenan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I go to bite some shit, boom, that shit
Ooh,
hurt as hell. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I
ooh.
want to go in there and be like, yo, doc, take this shit out.
Eat on the other side.
I
Eat
don't
on
want
the
the fucking
like
tooth no more.
oh yeah.
This is like really fucking torture. Like right now, when everything I eat, I gotta be like, you know, like, oh, I don't like this. I do not like this shit. And I went
Yeah.
back, but my father told me yesterday, I told him, yo, Dad, I call you back, I'm in the dentist. You know, old people, they think you lying to them all the time. I'm like, yo, you're in the fucking dentist every day. You're in the dentist. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to explain to him in Spanish.
Right.
Papi, es que cuando yo muerdo mi cheek, ¿qué? You know, the translate, mi cheek.
Yeah.
Lo muerdo. He didn't understand the fucking thing I was saying, but yo, this is some real life. This is a problem. I don't know if this is a midlife crisis or something, but I'm getting tired of biting my motherfucking cheek.
Just stop by your cheek, man. Like
Yo, I
straight
don't
up.
know. Yo, I'm going to go to
What
the
the fuck?
dentist again
What
this week,
stop by
and I'm
your
going to
cheek,
just straight
man?
up tell him, yo, shave this shit down, something. I can't take it no more. Like,
Man,
I really can't take it.
put the little one touch ambisol and that shit'll go right away, man. And then just slow
I don't
down.
know if my mouth ain't used to the fucking tooth. I don't know what's going on, but it hurts, Keenan.
I know. I think you might be eating fast, man. Slow down. Smell the
I
roses.
might be eating fast. You're right. Shout out to Emmanuel Lewis on here, Webster.
Oh wow. ATL finest. Love it. I love Emmanuel Lewis, man.
Look what Pat Pooh says. Black Love himself. Eventually, your mouth is gonna adjust on its own. Yo, Pat, this shit fucking me up, Pat. It's like World War III. It's a form of depression. When I wake
Yeah.
up in the morning, I'm already like feeling my cheek, like, huh? Did
Shout
I bite my shit? This shit crazy.
shout out to that dude, man, because that Jersey flow he went through, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Nah, Pat, listen, I gave Pat an idea. He don't never want to listen to me, right? For some reason, Pat goes crazy on these freestyles. And I said, you might as well get some original music beats and say all your freestyles on there, because his best rhymes is his freestyles. His
Listen,
best rhymes is his freestyles.
listen to the man, Papoose.
Yo, Fat Albert. Now that's supposed to be Fat Joe's role. Fat Albert. What was that like playing Fat Albert?
It was great, man. It was big for me, you know. Like originally, I didn't get the part when Forrest Whitaker was directing, and then the project part because him and Bill got into it, and the director and I got to try it, and then I got the part. You know what I'm saying? I was really excited at the time. You know, Bill was one of my big time. Fat Albert was a big thing for the culture. I took it very serious. And I also had a great time. Yes, I formed some real brothers. You know, with
Does
we
Bill
were.
Cosby own the franchise of Fat Albert?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, between him and Fox and whoever he wrote it with.
Man, let me tell you something. What the fuck was up with Bill Cosby when he was going to fucking court for his life and he stopped and go? Did you ever do a spoof like that on Saturday night? Yo, let me ask you something. It's a comedian in you, right? Like, we watch it. Yo, Bill Cosby might go to jail forever. He's going to court. CNN. He's walking there. He goes blind, and then he keeps like, yo. Was that some comedian shit right there, Keenan?
No, I mean, I think that is some sort of a psychosis, actually. You know what I mean? It's some sort of disconnect between seriousness of what's going on and who he appeals to be when he's in public eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, still trying to put on like that persona, that brand or whatever. for, and beyond more than any of that. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of disconnect just kind of shows me some sort of like, you know, imbalance as far as being a normal person is concerned.
Not
You know,
really knowing, having a sense of reality. Not
a little
knowing, yo, bro,
lot,
you about to go to jail. Like,
bro, for real. Like
this
you
cop dude, Chevron, he was shocked he was going to jail.
oh, he couldn't
This
believe it.
guy right now, the George
I mean,
Floyd.
we still got to get through sentencing and all of that bullshit or whatever. But yeah, he was shocked that that verdict came back there. You know, just as shocked as he was that he probably prosecuted for the incident in the first place, which is another reason why. Yeah, I was, you know, post that one, beginning of a post change. You know what I mean? Let that dude be your poster boy for every tale. As far as if you need that, people's lives serious.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me are you a Knicks fan or just a New York fan? Are you Boston? Are you
I'm from
Brooklyn on Monday and Nick on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta, but I've been living here for longer than I lived there. You know,
Yeah, you've been here forever.
yeah,
You just got
I,
cheaper taxes and a bigger house down there. But you really
I,
from New York, man.
I've been here for a long time, but I just enjoyed the historic places. You know what I mean, like the Garden and Yankee Stadium, and just the legendary of that. Like I don't, you know, the Met, the Giants, and the Jets. You know, I don't get to them often because
Yeah.
Stadium, Garden, get them both up.
Cause it's cold. Let me ask you something, Keenan, right? Forget Fat Joe. Who are your top 5 favorite rappers of all time?
Fat Joe, Fat Fat Joe, Fat Joe. Because you know why?
Now I'm gonna be honest with you, Keenan. Only one other person said it like that, and you're lined up with Doja Cat. Doja
I'm,
Cat said Fat Joe, Fat Joe, Fat Joe. So
I mean, you got a lot of like really, really big, epic records, man. Like it was
yeah.
like back to like the biggest anthem type records. You know what I mean? Be like Fat Joe, like for the culture at the time, Make It Rain. You know, Lean Back, fucking all the way up. Like yo,
Yeah,
like
I'm a
those
blessed
on and
guy.
on. But
I'm
like
a blessed guy. So you're gonna stick to Fat Joe, Fat Joe, Fat Joe?
my top 5 favorite rappers, I gotta
Yes.
fit. Outcast is in there, so you can split them up if you want to, or or not. Bun B is definitely in.
Uh,
Shout out to X, the legendary DMX dog, Snoop. You know, that might be 5 right there. I don't know.
that was 4.
That's 4. I can keep it. I always got to give it to Rakim. You know what I mean? Whenever it comes down to, like
Now
greatest
Rakim
lyrics,
is one of them.
like dude in the conversation.
Rakim is beyond one of them. You know why? Because there's a special thing about creating something for like you being the first. So you have to be that creative, that imagination to make this kind of music. Then everybody learns from you and gets better. To generate, like you comedian, you watch Richard Pryor, you got to watch greatness. You got to watch Richard Pryor and Red Fox and Jim Carrey's, and you watched all this shit. And then you develop to who you is. It's different when you're the one, like the Richard Pryor,
Mm-hmm.
or the Paul Mooney,
Yeah.
somebody who's the first. It's just, so Rakim, he invented the style.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody invented it. He did it. My brother, thank you for coming on here, man. You're a man of your word. I appreciate you.
I
We are
appreciate
celebrating you, man. I know your career is going to be even bigger than ever. And we
Thank you,
here
man.
for you, my brother. We appreciate you.
Oh, I got to shout out the podcast. I mean, we doing the podcast. You do a podcast? You need a podcast.
No, I'm not doing a podcast, but I'm doing this. This like
Yeah.
IG. You let
Well,
me tell it, man. This is David Letterman.
Yeah, it's called You Already Know. You come on the show and talk to us. That'd be
I
great.
want to come through.
No doubt. And of
And
course,
shout out your brother. Who's the guy that was at the game with you?
oh, that's my brother Tadal. Shout out my brother Tadal.
Shout out to Dal. Me and him ate about 4 hot dogs in the we tore them shits up.
The hot dog, no bread.
Oh, you been peeping the style, huh, Kenny? Hot dog, no bread.
Yeah.
You know you gotta stay away from them carbs.
Yeah,
Plus,
man. I feel
plus the bread make me bite my cheek and shit.
that's what it is. That's what.
All right, Keaton, God bless you, man. Stay
God bless
up,
you.
man.
Thank you,
Wow,
man. Y'all
man,
watch
what a
me,
great guy.
man. Tuesdays, NBC,
Huh?
8:30.
Tell him what?
The show, my show, Tuesdays, 8:30.
Keaton, you really rich, man. Shout out to my brother Ari Melba on the check-in. Yo, Ari, what's up, bro? All right. One love, Keaton.
One love.
One love. Yo, Ari. So I gave us a stat that Ari just let me see if Ari wants to come on for like 2 minutes. This is where we at with it, man. This is a live daily show. The biggest in the world. You know, Saturday Night Live, Keenan the Cow, Ari Melba, the biggest show on MSNBC. This is the post of because this show is unlike any other show. It's live and we just go on and everybody see the Biggie poster behind you, the big painting on the Brooklyn Bridge. Let me ask you something, your Ari.
Wait, Joe, let me get out. Joe, let me get out the way just so you see it straight up.
That shit is fire. Oh yeah. Nah, that's fire, bro. And he's on the Brooklyn
you have
Bridge.
The picture.
Let me ask you something, Ari. Today you put up a stat, and it said for 15 years, no police officer involved in the shooting was ever convicted.
Correct. Correct.
Now, in hindsight, in common sense, could that ever be possible?
Not in other countries, but in the U.S., yes.
And so nobody thinks that these guys are guilty in no way, shape, or form. They just innocent every time.
Good question, Joe. The simplest way I can put it is, as you said in the stat, and we were reporting on this on the beat, but people can also, people get their news different places. You can go on my Instagram, Ari Melber, and we have some of this up if people want to see and share the facts. From 05 to 15, there were thousands and thousands of on-duty police killings, and each year there were 0 murder convictions, every year in a row, 0 total. That started to change slightly. This is the context of what's going on right now. After 2016, a couple years after Ferguson, an average of 1 or 2 some years, 2020, a single one. And so our point here is, look, I'm not out to do anything other than inform people, Joe. But when racism is the fact and police violence is the fact, then I'm going to give everyone facts. Now, what people want to do about it, right? They make up their own mind with their own posts. This is the factual history. Sometimes you see a story or you see one. This is the history, and this history is now.
Yeah, it's terrible because yesterday I don't know either way to look at what happened yesterday to the young lady, because she was lunging at another young lady with a big knife. I think that was a bang-bang play. It's almost like in football or basketball, even though, rest in peace, where you don't know, you could call it either way, right? Of course, our brother Sean King posted a video of a white man with a knife running over police officers yesterday in Minnesota with a cop hanging out the window. No taser, no shots fired, no nothing. They just locked up the white guy. And so this is what America's seeing, that there's a disparity. If you're black, you're a threat. If you're Caucasian, maybe he didn't take his meds today. And so it's so crazy, it's ironic, even though one thing has nothing to do with another. But you only 2-3 hours from celebrating a historic day. The guy got what he deserved. This ain't like a monumental. In common sense, He stepped on his neck for 9 minutes and 20-something seconds. He murdered him. I didn't understand why. I still don't know why. I don't know if he was possessed by the devil. I don't know. I don't know why this man chose that day to put his knee on George Floyd's neck and suffocate him. Right? I just don't understand. Now, the arrogancy in the face, I was very confused because there's cameras on him. Yo, there's cameras on you. But today, when you threw up that stat, I understand the arrogancy in the face. And so his lawyer, while he's going to trial and he looks guilty, I mean, look, there was a firewoman there who went to EMT school twice to get a better rating, right? Begging him to check his pulse, to help him, to give him CPR. I mean, this couldn't be a worse crime for this guy. He committed a crime in front of specialists, right? And so what happens to me is I was wondering why his face was so arrogant. But today when you threw up that chart, his lawyer had to be telling him, look, I don't care what they're saying. You're going home. Nobody ever gets convicted. Don't worry about it. You good. And what was the difference, you think, in this case? Why was he convicted?
Great question. So I have two responses, Joe. Number one, you just put your finger on it. And this is like what they call that in the law is whether there's deterrence or not. And if you think you're going to get in trouble for something, I don't care if you're a Wall Street banker or you're a powerful politician or you're a powerful officer. If you think you might get in trouble for something, you might think twice about it. And conversely, if you are never, ever in trouble, as Fat Joe put it, real plain, blunt, straight up, then why would you ever worry about that? Now, that doesn't mean every person's going to go out. I'm not talking about each person makes up their own decisions what to do. But you've now removed any deterrence. That's number one. Number two, you asked why different. A, there is a reckoning going on. So there's a different environment. The jury pool, they're supposed to look at the facts, but their pool comes out of America. So if America's thinking differently about race a little bit, or more aware of what I call the structural racism, then maybe the jury pool was that. Because think about this, and this hasn't been discussed as much yet. Minnesota is like Wisconsin, Michigan. These are 50-50 political states, Joe. Statistically, I can't tell you who's on the jury, but statistically, you would expect Republicans and Trump voters on the jury. And so, you know, amidst all the other negatives, you could say 12 people got in a room. They have a different preference for president, different thoughts about this and that, but they all agreed the fact. They all agreed it was a murder. And what was different? A, the environment, and B, what I did in the report that you referred to, Joe. Usually we see police line up and they obstruct the probe or they side with the defendant. Here you had 8, count them up, 8 police officers who did what I call the bare minimum. They did what they're supposed to. They just cooperated with the probe. But that's 8 more than usual who told the jury, he's not with us, he's a murderer.
Wow. And those are big facts. I also believe now, because when I keep talking to regular people about this at the airport or wherever, they keep saying, if he would have been not guilty, the cities would have been burned down.
I don't know. Who knows? No one knows.
Who knows? But they're telling me, like, this was almost like, you know, when you go to you see a basketball game, the referee missed the call. When they put it on the teleprompter, the whole crowd goes, "Oh, the ref know he messed up." They get the ball, they come down, they call a foul, he gets 2 shots. It's a makeup call.
The makeup,
right?
Yeah.
And because of so much emphasis on Black Lives Matter, and people were marching on the streets and rallying together globally, some people say this was like a payback.
Well, this is what I'll tell you. Under the law, it's not supposed to be. Now, people do what they do. But, you know, my job in giving people legal facts, and I've been around juries, I will say this. We got a lot of problems in the system. I just talked about some of them. I do, in my experience, see a lot of juries, you get them in the room, they try to do it. Like I said, they must have put their politics aside, some of them, if you look at this politically or whatever. So they're not supposed to make up for anything. They're supposed to call it as they see the facts. Having said that, Joe, real talk, the real world, yes, the environment is different than a few years ago. The environment is changing. And if the environment is changing in a way where what used to block the facts reveals them, fine. It's like Jackie Robinson. He was a good baseball player before they let him play baseball. The racism prevented them from seeing the facts, right? That's different than everybody going, oh, I don't know, you're worried about what's out in the street, so don't follow the facts. No, all the jury had to do, in this case, follow the facts. 12 people, they deliberated 11 hours over 3 charges. They came back guilty, guilty, guilty on all 3 counts. So
he was guilty, Ari. Ari, I couldn't, I don't think we could have found a Ku Klux Klan member or a white supremacist to say this guy's not guilty. They probably wished him luck, but this guy was guilty. Like, and what got me so upset, was just, he was just guilty. You know, and then we had to go, I understand the defense got to show maybe this, that, you got a right to trial, but, it was horrible, man, for the family, for people to see, because this guy was like, this guy was beyond guilty, man. I've never seen nobody more guilty than this guy.
I mean, right. And that goes to the other piece of this, which is, so there's this reckoning, and it's all over the world. You can see George Floyd murals all over the world now. It's sad. But I did hear what one of his family members said yesterday. He said, good day to be a Floyd. And that's, of course, bittersweet.
Wow.
It's sad because there's nothing brings their family members
back. There's no question that George Floyd is on that Rosa Parks level.
Right.
30, 50 years from now, they're going to be reading about George Floyd in the textbooks, right, in school or whatever, on the tablets or whatever the case may be.
So, what Floyd went through, and now this trial, and now the rest of the world is tragically, sadly, way overdue, putting the facts forward for everyone to understand what this means. Because, 5 years ago, I covered this stuff. 5 years ago, and I talked about this on the show, people would wrongly say, well, Black Lives Matter's, quote, militant. Black Lives Matter's, quote, very liberal. Joe, being against murder is not militant. Being against murder is not radical. It's not even political. Being against murder is just the baseline of civilization. And we're living in a country.
Man, let me tell you something.
Murder. So,
shout out to a good friend of mine, Lisa Evers. She did a street soldiers townhouse, a town hall with the police commissioner. I was one of the guests. Let me tell you something. Black Lives Matter was in there. They would not give those people the microphone to ask a question. It was almost like taboo to even address them or ask them a question, and they were there. Black Lives Matter. They want to ask their questions, and it was almost like, I guess it was like, all right, we'll do the thing. Don't pass them the mic. And all they were doing was standing up for the people. My brother Ari, nothing but love, man. Thanks for coming on the show. You always come on, man. I appreciate you, man.
Quick shout out, Joe, because I saw some of your comments asking. Shout out to Fat Joe, who's always doing it day in and day out, consistent. I love talking to Joe. And shout out to Peter LaFlock, who painted this beautiful painting. People were asking. It's Peter LaFlock. He's on Instagram. Shout out to the painter.
Man, that's a beautiful painting. Peter LaFlock. All right, my brother. Stay up, Ari. I hit you up.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye, brother. All right. Man, Ari Melba, the friend to the show, doesn't mind having the #1 show on TV news, MSNBC, The Beat. Check in with us all the time. And said, listen to this, man. Let your darkest moments bring your most clarity. Yo, Azzy, executive producer went rogue on us. Azzy! And so, let your darkest moments bring your most clarity. Meaning, if you ever been through something, if you ever went through a hard time and your so-called friends were not by your side, didn't hold you down, wasn't there for you, they're not your friends. They're not your family. Get the speaker. I want to leave with Luther Vandross. Can we do it? Your phone's downstairs. Okay. 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 I got my Luther Van George's jacket on. It was his birthday yesterday. I want to leave the show on some Luther. Never too much, never too much. Hey, bum bum, bum bum, ba-dum ba-dum, boom 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 boom, bum bum, bum. Woke up this morning and listen, bro. I'm not even gonna try that, but listen. God bless Luther Vandross, my favorite ever. I love music so much, and he's my favorite of all time. Shout out to Bismarcky, rehabilitating, getting better. It was his birthday a couple of weeks ago. The rapper Bismarck spoke to his wife Tara. He's coming along. God bless him. Prayers for Biz. Continue prayer. The power of prayer is incredible. Put God first in good times and in bad times. Kenny Burns, what's up, my brother? I love you too. Put God first in good times and bad times. Love you guys. We the biggest in the game. Peace.